With a bad grip, it's possible to swing athletically, but I've never seen a bad swing with a good grip. Think about that a little bit. One of the most important things in the golf swing is to actually have a really good grip. What I like to do is, on Amazon, buy these golf grips. They're just fantastic. We're gonna explain how you should grip it. My old golf coach used to say long lines, good golfers. What that means is when you grip the club and you pinch this top knob here, that you want to have, I'm going to take the glove off real quick so you see a little bit better. When you grip it, that you have a long line here. So you pinch the index finger against the thumb this way. Right, so this muscle is typically quite developed amongst pro golfers. So right now I'm trying to push this off, I can't. So I'm going to pinch it in here, and then the pressure point should be not on the fingertip, it should be definitely more on the joint, right on this spot here. So when I grip it this way. So then the right hand goes on top. Interlocking is what I do. You can also do overlapping. More into the middle units of your 3 units, the finger, this way. And then most importantly, pinch it here again, like this, that way. What I see a lot of times is that the thumb is lower than the index finger. That's an absolute no-no. You have no control of your club face. So the thumb should always be higher than the index finger. My old friend Martin Keimer, a couple majors later, he had almost a little bit of a gap down there. You see that quite a bit. When players come into impact this way, they have a lot of stress on that index finger. All right, so to snap it last minute this way. So another thing that pro golfers they have a lot of callus here on the inside of the index finger. So right where you put the pressure point here, once you create a little bit of lag, hold that please honey, the club if you can. There you go. So if I create a little bit of lag, like I have a lot of pressure right there, and this is pinched together. Right. So grip strength is important. A lot of people always say grip it light, but the issue is PGA Tour players have 40% more total grip strength. So when a pro says, I grip it 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, that is your 10 out of 10, or even 12 out of 10. Yeah? So you might even not be able to grip it that hard, period. What I have in my basics, always teach the basics, be perfect with your basics. Grip mold, Scottie Scheffler does it, he just won the British Open. And just hit some shots with it's an old club here, got it from the Play It Again store. This is actually the first club I've ever played with. Slapped on these Amazon grips. I'll link it, and then even just like starting with a couple of half swings and getting used to a grip. I'll build it here again, pinch, left hand, pinch it here again, and this grip will stay on until the very last moment in my finish. So you're gonna see right there, it's gonna be onto, there's no looseness later on. I'm becoming one with the club. So a really good exercise is to put all 10 fingers tight on the grip in this fashion and kind of immerse yourself in the feeling of staying connected the whole time and not getting loosey-goosey, not even the slightest bit. A lot of discipline in the grip, and the golf swing will figure itself out again. Now, even there, it was a little bit loose, if you look at it. Right, so that's already not good enough. A little sweaty. It's a little hot right now. Alright, so a lot of discipline here. This grip will stay tight. That was better. There you go. Really tight. And then once you have this, you progress it into your full swing without it. Another little pitching wedge, like nothing too crazy yet. What you can do, you can take one of these tees and you put it right in here. And this should stay now tight together. Index finger is lower than the thumb. Pressure pointed thumb is not on my dirty fingernail. Like it's more down, the fingernail is more up. A lot of people describe cramps in the beginning like this, but that's a good grip right there. The mark of a player is 99% the grip. Can this tee stay in my grip during the whole swing? It did. Nice. All right. Another kind of philosophical approach is, with a bad grip, it's possible to swing athletically, but I've never seen a bad swing with a good grip. Well, Think about that a little bit. Discipline here, pressure points. It flew off. It's too sweaty. So that really just means my grip pressure is not strong enough. There you go. That's how you get club face control. Maybe one day like Scottie Scheffler. With the pitching wedge it's pretty easy, but as forces and torques increase to keep the pressure on like this, with a 5-iron, let's see if I can do it. Pretty tight, but it flew out. I'm gonna blame it on the sweat. What I'm already noticing is that if I have this pinch between index finger and thumb, in the transition it's much quieter. There's no weird floppiness going on. So, you know, anatomy always wins. So if you get loosey-goosey with these index finger thumb connections here, and then this kind of flops around, you could steepen, it could go open, it could go, you know, whatever. Yeah, but if it's tight, you can see it's coming down beautifully on plane. And it stayed on again, and I'm not gonna lie, that was a beautiful swing. I felt the club face in control the whole time. It was squaring up consistently. So try it out. And one last thing about a little story from my German national team days. About 20 years ago, our coach was very creative, and he always had me walk around like this all day long. So even if I shook somebody's hand, I'm just kidding. But this is basically what you want, right? So pinch it here, pinch it there. That's the grip right there, nice and strong, solid hands, mobile wrists, solid grip. Most people have the opposite, they're loosey-goosey and they got stiff wrists. We want the grip to be pretty tight this way, pinch it together, and then you can get into a really nice impact location this way. Done.